Welcome back everyone to another awesome video. Today I want to talk about React filtering, searching and sorting items from the server. Okay, so all of that is actually going to happen server side, not on the client side, because you can imagine if you're an e-commerce shop and you have hundreds of items, you're not going to want to pull all those items all the time, right? But you want to let people search all those items. So the only way to really do that is on the back end. We have set up a very simple e-commerce page here. Okay, so you have a bunch of products, jackets, shoes, bags, and the data itself is actually mock data. It's fake data that I created. You can see here the data. The price is in cents. You can see there's a name, color, category, and the image source. I got free images from Unsplash for the products. And there's a local server which is serving the items to the front end, okay? So there's one endpoint, it's using Express, there's one endpoint called items, and all we're doing is faking the request to actually get the items, because we have the items locally. Added a timeout here, which will simulate, some kind of database query or a search query to, for example, Solar or Elasticsearch. Okay, so we can jump into the front end code, see what we did there. The front end code is really simple. We just have a bunch of small components here. We're grabbing all the colors so we can show the filters, all the unique colors. We're grabbing the counts, so we show the counts here. And we just have a bunch of components that I created. Actually, not that many components. It's only 4. But you get the gist of what's going on here. This code will be available for you as well. So the first thing I want to do is show you where the data is coming from. The data is coming from the server here, and all we're doing is using a custom hook that I wrote, which uses Axios to fetch it on the mount component. When the component mounts, it'll make the query for the items. Okay, we're going to rewrite this because this is not a great way to do this when you have a bunch of data and you want to maintain state on that data from the server. So you could be rewriting this all the time if you have a bunch of different endpoints as well. And you want to use a library like React Query to manage the cache for your backend data, because it handles basically all this state here. The loading state, it'll handle the error state and all that good stuff. Okay, so first thing I want to do is install React Query. Okay. So we have React Query installed now. I want to add React Router as well. Okay. So React Router is going to be used for the routing. You're probably already using this. If you're not, you probably should. It's going to help us maintain the state of the URL basically. So when someone types here, it's gonna change the URL up here. So when someone sorts, it's gonna change the URL up here. It's gonna maintain that state for us. And the nice thing about having it in the location, the window location, is you can actually share the link and it will apply the filters whenever someone else visits that link. Okay. So what did we do? We added React Query, we added React Router DOM. So we're going to add the browser router provider. Okay. This will give us access to all the hooks that React Router gives us. And we're also going to add query client provider. Okay. So this guy requires a client. We're going to create a client here. Create a file, API, TS, import Axios from Axios. API client equals axios.create base URLs, the URL to our local host server that is serving the items. We're going to have a query client, new query client, okay. The query client is responsible for all of the caching and state on React Query. And export these. All right, so we're going to provide it. Query client. Okay. So we have all this set up. Now we want to pull out this fetching of these items into React Query. So we're going to create a new hook. Take this hook out. We're going to export. All right, so instead of all of this stuff, we're going to delete all this. This is going to be really simple. We're going to do import API client, right? Just make sure this import is correct. Okay, and we're going to use use query from React Query. I'm going to add a key here called items. For this key is used to actually reference the data in the cache. API client.get items, then res.data. Okay, so we're just transforming the response. We're ignoring all the other values that come in Axios. We're going to say use query result. We're going to define the return type here. It's any right now, but we don't want it to be any. We want it to be an item array, okay? And this is just a type I defined here. It matches what the server gives us. Okay. So we'll get rid of this. Get items, okay? Okay, get items. Const items equals data or empty array. Okay, so if there's no data, we want an empty array. So this is complaining because what is this? Why is this? Yeah, it's here. Okay. So this is complaining because it's referenced in a memo hook. And anything referenced here is going to actually update this value as well if this changes. So we need to wrap this as well in a use memo. Okay, and it's going to be get items data. So anytime get items data, this is going to rerun. And subsequently, all of this stuff is going to rerun as well, which is fine because this is not really a big deal, right? And this won't change all the time. This will only change when your filters change. So we go up here, clean this up. Okay, so first thing, okay, we have the API. Now let's see if the items are loading. Okay, items are loading with our new query. Let's just make sure. Items, boom. All right, so this is hitting your localhost server. Now remember, I showed you what the localhost server looks like. It's very simple. Just one endpoint. So the first thing is the search bar. Let's implement the search. We have this very simple wrapper for an input. And what I want to do here is actually capture the input. Const on search change equals React change event HTML input element. All right. So how do I know all this stuff? I know this stuff because you know, I've worked with React for some time now, and you eventually learn the types. But a really simple way is to actually hover over the property here, and you can see that it tells you there's a change event. Okay. It takes a change event handler. So what is a change event handler? A change event handler looks like this. Okay. This is a change event handler. It's an event handler that takes a change event. It's a function that takes a change event. That's exactly what I'm implementing here. And it's going to be happy when I put it here. Okay. So, all right, so we got that there. Now we're gonna get the value, or the text rather, eTarget.value. When we have the text, let's make sure it's doing the text, printing the text. Okay, good. So if text.length equals 0, all right, we have the basic, we have the case here where there's no text. What do? We need to reset the search query. We need to clear the search query, sorry. We have search, set search, and we're going to use the search params from React Router to manage the window location for us. Set search, search.delete. Okay, so we're deleting the query value here, and we're setting the state so it updates the UI. All right, so instead of deleting it here, we're going to set it text, right? Now that should be good. Now it should be, all right, you see the URL here, it's changing. Okay. We actually want to also replace, so it'll replace, you know, when you go back, it should be replacing it. Yeah, okay. So if you go here, go back, you can see it's replacing it. Just make sure it's working. If you go back, it takes you here. Now we type in test. Okay, good. So it's not going to be replacing each letter. It's just replacing everything you typed basically at that time. Okay, so replace true. What else? I think this is good enough for now. Good enough for now. So now how do we update the request, right? So the request needs to apply the query. So the request is going to listen to the search params, which basically this is listening to it now. We're going to do toString so that we can get a unique key here every time the query changes. And here we're going to send it to the server. Okay? Let's see if this works. You can see that it's sending a new request every time to the server, every time the query changes. Okay? So we actually want to not send it 100 times, right? You see this? It's sending it over and over because React query thinks that data is old, but we're going to change that. We're going to convince React query it's not old. Make it 2 minutes. Stale time, make it 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, this data is considered old and it will force a query. All right, so we just did a request, 2 items. Now we type in test. Okay, now we delete test. You see it's not making a request now because the original key is not stale yet. After 2 minutes, it will be stale. You could probably even set this longer if it's like, you know, e-commerce shop, like maybe this won't change that often, right? But maybe your prices will change. It all depends. It's all situational. You have to evaluate. Okay, so this looks good. So one thing I want to do is, if you see, it's actually doing a bunch of requests on every character every time. But if the user's typing really fast, that's not good. Look how many requests are going out, right? So we'll use a debounce function from Lodash, which is a utility library. All right, and this is just a function that gets, why is this complaining? I think I need to add the types. Did I even add React query yet? Or Lodash? Lodash, okay. So Lodash is an awesome library, by the way. It lets you, it gives you a bunch of utility functions on data types and primitive data types, and also stuff like debounce, add the type, stuff like debounce and throttle. The bounce just runs a function after a certain time period, which is 300 milliseconds in this case. But every time the user types, it's going to reset this time. Okay, so if I type in A, it's waiting 300. But if I type in B after A, it's now waiting 300 again. You see? So now once 300 has passed, now it's going to send the request with AB, not A. Right? So it's just clearing a timeout basically every time you type until that period expires. Just complaining. I think I need to restart the server. Right? All right, so we're getting the search bar in. We have it to bounce. Boom. See? It didn't fire 100 requests, it fired 1. Because once I stop typing, you can see. So the final word gets sent, not the actual, not every letter. You can see here, quilted. Quilted gets sent. If I type really slow, you'll see, because that's not, that's 300 milliseconds passing each time I type. If I type really fast, boom. Okay, you can play with this values here. 300, you can make it higher if you want. 300 is probably good. Maybe 350 is a little more better, a little better. But you can play with these values and see what works for you. Okay, so the search bar is complete, but we want to add a little loader, right? Because it looks weird. Right. It looks weird when you don't see it loading. Basically, you don't see any loading state. You just see the items flashing. We're gonna add React spinner, I think. Is it called React spinners? Yeah. I like to use this library. We're gonna add React spinners. We're gonna pull in a loading bar here. You could obviously make your own, but this is a really simple way. So we are in the root. So when get items is loading, where are the items? Let's just find where we render the items. We render the items here. Render the items here. So this is a good chance to pull this out into a component. Pull this out into a component. We'll call it like items container. Export the function. Okay, it's going to return these items, but where is items coming from? Items coming from the top. No, items not coming from the top. We're going to use the hook that we wrote because we need to look at the loading state. Okay, we need to look at the loading state. If get items is loading, return bar loader. Height. Just set a height here. Let's see what it looks like. And const items equals get items data or empty array. Okay. Okay. Import. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, the loading bar is not showing up. Let's see why. Okay, we want this to extend the full width. Let's see. W100. No, W75, sorry. W75. Okay. we have a nice looking little loading bar here. Let's make it a little smaller. All right, so remove this. Some. Okay. The only reason you see this layout jump on the left is because of the scroll bar here. You could work out these quirks later. You know, it's just CSS. If you notice one thing though, like if we search cool set. Oh, actually, so we're not actually applying the search filters yet. Let's apply the search filter on the back end. We're actually using the name as the key here. Should be okay. Okay. Let's go to our server. All right, we want to apply the filters, right? So on our server, we're gonna apply these filters that come in from the front end. Data, and then filters, right? All right, so query is here. We're unpacking the query. We're unpacking all of the values that are inside this query object. So this is going to be an object with all of the parameters passed into the query, okay? So we have a query. We're going to create a new array with the filtered items. Let's name this correctly. Products. Okay, we're doing a for loop. We're going to do all the filtering for the whole app in one function, in one loop, basically. For it'll be a little faster. Normally you wouldn't probably do this on your own, right? You would have some SQL query, or you're using some search API like Solar or Elasticsearch, which is going to do this automatic query filtering for you. But in this case, we're just implementing it, a really simple one. Okay, if query is present, and if query is present, and product.name includes query. So we want the negative. We want the negative of that. And items.push product. Let's call this filter products. Okay, return filter products. Okay, so if you can see what's going on here, we're looking at the query and we're checking, does the product not contain the query? Okay, or skip it. That means it's not a match and it shouldn't be returned to the front end. So let's see what that does. Okay, so clear on this stuff, refresh, some. Okay, you can tell it's case sensitive. Let's get rid of the case sensitive. Okay. Looks good, right? So this will skip any items that don't match the query. In this case, if it's an empty string, it will match, because this value is to false. Right? It should evaluate to false. Just want to make sure we're doing this right. Yeah, it all looks good, right? Yeah, let's refresh the server. Okay, that works. One thing you need to notice here is that the query is here, but the query is not in the search bar because we reloaded the page. So if you reload the page, you want to make sure that the query is populated. We use default value in React. We get it from the search parameter or an empty string. So default value will be whatever's in here or nothing. You see, now it's here. Tiny pouch. Okay. Let's type in fancy bag. Refresh. Okay, everything looks good. One thing is the counts are messed up. Let's fix that too. Let me close all others. So we go back to our root component. The counts are right here. When there's no matches for these item types, we want to default to 0. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so let's implement the sorting. We're going to implement the sorting, which is done here through this dropdown. Okay, and we're going to go to the select. We're going to pass in the onChange handler. It comes from the parent. OnChange comes from the parent, and it's an React change event. Okay. We want to pass default value as well, which is optionally empty. Okay, so that, you know, if they reload the page, it's going to correctly populate the value. I'm going to add the change handler here. Okay. Let's log the sort by, what that looks like. Okay. Okay. Let me just make sure this is right. This looks fine. We have the search, and the search bar is done. We have the select. This looks fine. So yeah, so descending means getting smaller as it goes down. Ascending means getting bigger. Okay. So this is fine. We just actually need to update the search parameters. That's all we need to do, right? Search.set sort by, and set the search value. Okay. I don't really reuse it, so we're just gonna do that. Okay. Is that gonna work? Name. Okay, it works. One thing I want to do. Is I'm gonna add replace as well. But one thing I want to do is see if we can avoid the name sorting. The reason is because does this matter? So we're going to sort by name by default, right? So let's do that. Going to sort by name by default. So let's see, can we have a default value here? What does it take? Let's see what it's passing in the server. Let's see what this looks like. If I delete this, undefined. Undefined. I think it's because we need to add it to search params here. Right, this is going to be the initial value. Yeah, you see? So it's the same. So by default, it'll be name. That gives us the default value on name. Okay, so we sort at the end. We want to sort by name. Actually, it's going to be these two, right? Return. So default is always name. Default is always name. So let's grab the name. Return name dot locale. Is it locale compare? Yeah. So this will return a number if it's greater than, less than, or equal to for the sort function. So the price descending is high. The high price comes first. Price B. Return oh, we want the opposite. We want the opposite of that. Okay, so price high, price low. So low price is at the top, high price is at the top, name, what? Why is name complaining? what is it? What is it here? What is it? Why is it not name? Name should work, no? Am I missing something here? Name lookout compare is not a function. My friend, it should be. It should be a function. What am I missing here? I know I'm missing something. It's right in front of me somewhere. Product.name. Oh, I have a typo. Jesus. Okay. Sorry guys, I had a typo. So you can see name is sorted correctly. You can see the names at the letter A at the top, letter Y at the bottom. So price, low, name. Okay. Sorting is done. We just had to figure out the sorting function. I had this backwards, so this looks good now. I had a typo here. Sorting looks good. So we have a bunch of other filters, right? We have color and price. So can we sort as well as filter? We can, right? Look at that. See? Back. It's matching all these words. Can still sort, which is super nice. It's all server side. Okay. So the next thing we want is actually the colors. Let's do that. Go to root. Let's close all this other stuff. Let's go to the colors. The colors are here. To be honest, I don't like having a bunch of logic sitting in a giant component like this. So let's do color filters, okay? Color filters. What is grouped items? Grouped items is the unique colors for those items. It's only used here, right? So we can just do it here. Use memo and use items. Use memo. Okay, let's just fix this import. So we're gonna import this checkbox component from a library called Radix. That's checkbox, right? All right. Good. So use search params. So we're doing a lot of what we did before, but now for the color filters. So this one is an array colors as an array. Because you can have multiple colors checked. So let's just do that correctly. Let's do this. On color change. E. HTML check. HTML. Checkbox. I think it's input. Let me see if this is right. Oops. Why is this complaining? What is complaining here? Oh, it's a button. Jesus, okay. So this library is doing a button here. HTML button. Let me see if this. So we're using this library for the checkboxes. I just want to make sure it's going to work. Where are our checkboxes? The checkboxes go here. Okay. Not working. Where do we add the change event? Let's check out radix UI. Let's go to the checkbox. How do we know if it changed? Oh. So they have their own checked function. Okay, good. Okay, so we know it's checked. False. We actually need to know the name. The name as well. Field.name. Oh, we have it here. Field.name. That's good. So we can set the color. Const colors equals search.get search.get colors. Sorry guys, the baby is up. So let's just, so colors is going to be probably empty. Yeah, so this thing actually lets you do an array. This utility function lets you do an array. Convenient when you need multiple values. Yes. Well, let me just see what this looks like. I just want to see. Actually, it's going to be empty, right? If there's no colors. If there's no colors, if no colors, Jesus, hold on. Okay, we're back. We're just going to continue right where we left off. We were implementing the colors, the color filters, right? So, all right, let's go back to the colors. We're going to get the colors. Which is here, string or null. So if it's null, we'll do this. Okay, so what's happening here? We're getting an array of string. We're splitting it by commas, which will allow us to pass multiple values to the server. Yeah, that makes sense, right? So let's see. So we have an array. So if the array is empty, length equals 0, we want to clear search delete colors, right? If it's empty. If it's not empty, we have to check, are we checked? If checked, if checked means we want to add this color. I want to add this color. Push. Oh wait, we're not passing the color. We need to pass the color. We can pass the color like this. Pass the color like this, actually. Let's do this, right? We'll just apply it. Okay, so we're passing the color. We're applying the color here. We're applying the function that returns a function. And now we have the color. We can push the color when it's checked. Else, if it's not checked, we want to remove the color. Do this. That deletes the color now, right? We actually want to join the string here. Okay, so now this should be like red, blue, green, right? Something like that. Okay, so we can just try it. Just try it and see what happens. Color, white. Nothing? Nothing's happening. Oh, oops. So we actually, we don't need this check at all, do we? We don't need this check, do we? Let's just see. I don't think we need it at all. Yeah, okay, so the colors are getting applied. We actually need to apply it on the checkbox. We need to make sure the checkbox is checked. Is the default value? I mean, let's try this, right? Default checked. Search.get. Search.get colors. Split. Split. So, okay, so, and then here we need to check if it's empty. Here we need to check if it's empty. Search.delete. Let's see if this works. What am I doing? What? What is the problem? Oh, I see the set. Let me see, hold on. The set is not being applied here. Okay, so the color filter is in, right? Color filter is in. One thing that you see here is a little weird is every time we change a color, it's actually making a new request, which I guess is fine. I guess that should be fine for now, right? But you see if there's like different combinations, you end up with more requests. See? Anyway, should be fine. Because the request has to happen on the server anyway. So let's go to the server. So we have colors here, we're unpacking colors. If query, if colors split includes product.color, continue, right? Let's see what happens here. We go to white. brown, blue. So you see, you see what's happening is, you know, oh wait, what just happened? Blue. Why is it not checked? Why is it not checked? Let's see. Blue is there. Blue is there. True. True. For some reason it's not updating this. Could it be that I have to use checked? Yeah, I guess the default value will not cause a re-render. So we'll leave it under checked. So it's a controlled input now. But you notice you can't do multiple colors, which is kind of annoying, right? So we can't do multiple colors because we're submitting it on every time you click a color. I really think we shouldn't do that. We should just actually, show an apply button, right? Button, apply filter, something like that, right? So it's collapsible list, so we need to wrap the list in a flex. Oops, and then here, we need to do items start or send. It's fine. What is the margin here? We just apply the same margin. PV4. Okay, so all right. So when there's a filter, we show this. When there's a so we need local state. We need local state. We need local state because we don't want to actually change this until they click apply. So colors set colors to state. So get colors. Split or empty array. All right, so now instead of doing all this cool stuff, we'll just do this actually. Colors. We'll just copy this colors array. So this copies the whole array. And we'll do this. Oops. So instead of this, all we gotta do is set colors. I think. Colors. All right, refresh. Okay, so apply. We only want to show apply when there's colors. Okay, so let's make this a prettier button. Let's do ph2, pv1. Let's do a border. Do we want a border? BR3 border radius. Let's make the text smaller. It's probably too small, right? F6. F14. Apply filter, okay. BA border all. B border border color. Am I doing that right? BA. Oh, look at this. I'm resetting button. Why am I resetting the? Why am I resetting the border? Oh, Jesus, okay. Do I have any other buttons here? No. So you can see CSS is being kind of annoying here. We're actually not able to apply a nice border here because we are resetting it in our global CSS file. Let me just think for a second. I mean, I can just create a new class for this, but if I remove this, I get a bunch of borders here. It's not a huge deal, right? Let's find all the BTN. BN. Why is it BN? Where are we? We're in root. Delete all this stuff. Oops. BN. Okay, that looks nice, right? Okay, apply filter, all it's going to do is apply filter, all it's going to do is set search. Let's do this. We also need a clear. We also need a clear button. So, this is so annoying. So let's pull. So we don't want to have a ton of inline logic here. Function. We're going to create a new component. We're going to get colors from the parent. Yeah, we're going to get colors from the parent. It's going to be an array. Colors from the parent. String. Right. And what else do we need here? We need this guy. So we'll have a guard here. We'll have a guard here. We'll put it here. Colors. Wait. Oh, missing my return statement. Beautiful. So, if colors.length is greater than 0, the first thing is we want to search here is search.get colors. If this exists, we can assume that a filter has been applied. And we'll test this out really quick, right? Clear filter, delete. Why did this not update? Apply, clear. Oh, you see, that's kind of annoying. I guess you need to clear and apply at the same time. See, I'm not a UX expert, but you know what? We should maybe just force them to clear it, right? And then when they clear it, they can. When they clear it, they can get new color, select new colors. So this should be actually disabled. Should be disabled when there's a filter applied. I think so. Yeah. Oh, you see what's going on here is I need to actually clear the colors here too. Which happens right here. There's two states to manage. One is the search param state, and the other is the component state. Set colors void. It takes a colors array colors. Okay, so set search, set colors, empty array. Okay. Clear. Okay, beautiful. Oh, what? What? Oh, okay. Let's not do this. Let's get it from the param search dot get colors. All right, if that exists, I shouldn't complain. Should convert it to a boolean. Okay, so this should convert it to a boolean. And confirm that disable. You'll see it's a boolean. So this is a JavaScript, forces you to convert this string into a boolean. So as long as the string, as long as the value exists, it's going to be a boolean. Apply. Now you can clear. Okay, this is not bad. This looks. Let me know what you guys think, but you know, I'm not a UX expert, right? But I think this works well. Okay, colors are in. And the beautiful thing is you can apply them and refresh. Yeah, I really hate how this is like not centered. I wonder, this won't matter, right? This is not going to be centered. This is not going to be centered because it's not taking into account the height of this. This won't be good, but let me see. Yeah, no, that's not going to be good. We'll just leave it for now. Because we would have to move the title. We'd have to either move the clear filter into the title bar, which is here. This would be the best way. Or we'd have to do some negative margin, which is like here, margin, top, something like that, right? What's the height here? 26. Something like that, right? But instead of doing that, let's actually just let's move it in. Let's move the filter toggle in to the collapsible list. The collapsible list does not currently take a action button, so let's add an action button. Let's see if this is going to work. A React button here. All right, so we go back, take this, wait, it's working. Let's do this, div.flex, right, justify between, item start, where's that coming from now? Oh, I got it flex here. Okay. We're just doing some CSS here. It's beautiful, right? Oops, wrong item. Let's go to the list. There's too many stuff open. Close this. Let's do that. Why is it offset? There's an MB2. Jesus. Okay. So why is this so small? Why is this so small? Filters. Why is this so small? Let's figure it out, right, guys? Figure it out, Anton. W100. W100, that's going to be the issue. Let's try this. It is flex. Jeez, what do I do? It's because of this width here. So let's go here. Let's get rid of this really quick and see what happens. So So we'll do W100 when it's not visible. We also need MB2 when it's not visible. We need MB2 when it is visible. So we actually need it on the parent. Oh, geez, okay. Right? Oh my goodness. Again, I have a PV4. Why do I have PV4 here? What? This doesn't make sense. Where's PV4 coming from? If we're hidden, hide this button. I don't like this content jumping. So we want to avoid this content jumping. We need to be honest, I don't have a great way to make this not jump. God, CSS is so annoying. See the jumps, right? Like I gotta make it absolute positioned. It's ridiculous. It's like this, right? Relative. Guess that's fine, right? But still really annoying. So then I don't need this logic. MB2. Okay. This is fine. Apply. So you can't see if the clear is visible. So the clear should always be visible now. What do you think, right? Yeah, no, it's not going to matter because these things are different height. We'd have to use some negative height here, negative position, something like that. We could actually center it with the transform. Let's see if tachyons is a transform. No, I don't want that. Here, let's do this. Transform to the center Y. This is creating our own utility class. Okay. Why I didn't do this before? I don't know. I just figured we could figure it out, but Jesus, okay, what's going on now? Where's the absolute transform? It's here. $50 minus 50. Oh, it's the opposite. It's the opposite, of course. Alright, we have a centered button. And when it doesn't move the element, doesn't change the size of the parent. Okay. I'm pretty happy with this. Right? If you refresh, you'll see that the color filter is applied because the clear filter button is visible. Alright? Feeling good about this. Feeling good. Alright, actually what we're missing is actually filtering colors. Right? So we'll go back. Wait, we're not filtering? We are filtering color. Aren't we? But we were filtering colors. Interesting. White, brown. Oh, it is working. Let's do yellow and red. All right, we're good. Everything is working. Nice. See that? We have sorting and colors. This is awesome. We have search too. Very nice. Okay. Oh, I think I know one thing we skipped. One thing we did skip is going to be here. We want to replace. Remember to replace here because we don't. When you press the back button, you know, apply, go back. Wait, what? Oh. Apply, go back. Okay, good. Apply, go back. Blue, apply, clear, go back. Okay. So it won't take you back to the last color you had. So we don't want filtering to change your navigation history. Filtering is only used for filtering and to make the link use shareable. So you can share the link, you know, and it'll still apply the filters, as you can see. Okay, clear. This is awesome. So, hope you enjoyed this video. You know what to do at the end of the video. I will make more videos. I didn't get into the price filter, but I think that's a good homework for you.